Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our educational webinar series where we interview industry leaders and experts to expand your knowledge about all things related to investing in real estate and raising capital. Today, I'm joined by Amresh Singh, CEO of HomeAbroad. So I came across HomeAbroad in my research on how international buyers and foreign investors can access U.S. real estate investment opportunities. And I've got to say, I was immediately drawn to HomeAbroad's mission to streamline this entire process for investors worldwide and help them transition to owning real estate in the U.S. And that ultimately fosters financial inclusion and prosperity. So I'm excited to welcome Amresh and hear more about Home Abroad and discuss what attracts investors around the world to investing in US real estate and what the future holds for the real estate market. All right, welcome, Amresh. Thank you so much for joining us today. So I thought that we can kick it off by you telling us more about your professional background and how you developed the idea for Home Abroad and what services you offer.
Awesome. Thank you, Angela. First of all, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Before I founded Home Abroad, I used to lead customer acquisition for one of the largest international banks. That's where I worked for more than a decade, I would say. And my focus really there was to develop strategies for international client acquisition who were interested in, US real estate, or they were relocating to the US based on, their jobs, relocating from their home country to the US. As you know, most Fortune 500 companies are in the US and they have global employees where they move people from across the world into the US, right? So I was kind of working, with with this big bank to kind of help them uh, get financing solutions for these clientele, right? But that is where, I noticed a big gap, where these big banks created mostly to the elite clients, and but the market was very huge. This was a pretty underserved market, because at the end of the day, you are kind of catering to the elite population who kind of fit the boxes that you want them to fit into. But the population is much higher, and that's where I realized there's a gap in the market that needs to be fulfilled, not only by US newcomers who are coming into the country to kind of live and work here, but US real estate, kind of offers a lot of opportunity from an investment standpoint as well. And I noticed a lot of international clientele were interested in investing in US real estate, right? But the products offered by big banks does not fit in the persona of these investors, right? So that's where, I identified this opportunity was huge. And my background as well, coming from India to the US, working for this big bank, I was kind of in that international mindset, or how an international person who has never, kind of, been in the US real estate market feels, that I kind of had that knowledge, right? So kind of combine that all together, the idea of Home Abroad was born. And founded Home Abroad, I think mid of 2022 is when we really founded the company. We have evolved. When we started the company, it was kind of a marketplace that helped international clients connect to agents who work locally in the market, to help them find the right property. And we used to sell leads to these mortgage lenders uh, who were big banks at the end of the day, right? And we realized this is not what we intend to do when we started the company. And we want to, if we really want to serve these clients, we need to control the entire process, right? And that's where, if we transition to this one-stop shop, helping international customers buy property in the US, right? Right from finding the property to helping them financing the property without needing any US credit history. And that's where we are today. We help them find finance and everything in between and after, really kind of handhold them through the entire process.
Can I just say I'm a big fan of that? And it's so impressive that, your company has grown so much since, you founded a company. And I know that now you're serving more than 7,000 homeowners. And, I think I saw 45 million plus applications initiated. And I mean, the growth has been great. And the fact that you really position your company as one-stop shop, I think that's so great because oftentimes it's very fragmented. You
Yes.
have to work with so many different people and so many different companies. And I think that alone can be scary for
Ab-
international buyers.
Absolutely. With international buyers, first of all, it's very overwhelming, to invest or buy a house in a different country where you don't know anything about the process, right? For example, when I moved into the US and I bought my house as a primary residence to live in, and I was living in the country for 5 years, at the point when I decided to buy my house. Still, after living in the US for 5 years, I didn't know anything about how the home buying process works in the US, right? So think about someone, who is just relocating to the country or who is, in trying to invest in US real estate. They have no idea, like how the home buying process works, how the mortgage process works, and if you're an investor, which market to invest in, right? And all is, this is a good idea because US real estate market is really unique in terms of the rental yields that you can generate in this market, coupled with 30-year mortgages. That is again very unique to the US market, right? And when you combine these two together, high rental yields and availability of 30-year fixed rate mortgage, you're looking at heaven for real estate investors. Because what's happening, your payment is fixed for next 30 years. There's no payment shock, unlike many other countries where you have adjustable rate mortgages, where the rates will adjust depending upon the term of the loan, and it can go up, down, but mostly up, right? And and generally, what property is cash flow positive, for a few years can suddenly turn into cash flow negative depending upon where the rates are, right? But in the US real estate market, you get locked into that rate for next 30 years. So your rent is going to increase year over year. Your payment is going to be fixed for the term of the loan, which means, your cash flow technically is going to keep increasing, right? And that's what makes the US real estate market so unique and really a real estate heaven, right? Plus, there are no restrictions for foreign nationals purchasing property in the US. So you're not paying additional taxes or stamp duty. Just from a home ownership right standpoint, you have the same home ownership right like a US person, right? So that's huge, right? And that kind of, people who know about it, really want to use US real estate investment as an asset class, right? It's the issue is knowledge and education, right? And that's what we are doing, as a company where we are educating international clientele. Hey, US real estate investment as an asset class is available to you, open to you. Not only that, you have financing available without needing a US credit history to get competitive, mortgage loan options to finance your investment properties, right? In addition to someone who's coming to the US, if you're a newcomer who is coming to the US because, say, I'm working for Amazon in India and Amazon moved me to the US to work, closer to the to where my headquarters are, right? Now, I don't need to make my landlord rich by paying rent. I can build wealth for myself, by actually owning the property, right? Uh, because in most scenarios, your rent is going to be higher than your monthly mortgage payment because of the rental yields in the US, right? So, you can whatever rent you were going to pay now can go towards building equity in the property, when you're paying down the principal, and at the same time, you have an appreciating asset, that's growing as well, right? So again, like this is something that folks just don't know or didn't knew, right? And that's where we come in as a company to really kind of solve this problem that existed in the market. And we are really trying to democratize US real estate for international buyers.
And I love that. And I really, your mission, the mission of Home Abroad really attracted me as well, because that's all about the inclusion and prosperity. And you're giving access to people that, previously wouldn't have known how to even gain access to it. So I'm interested to see, to hear more about, are there certain types of investment properties or certain locations that a lot of your clients are looking for? Do you see any like trends or anything that see more often?
That's a really interesting question, Angela, right? So I'll tell you, what we did as because a lot of our clients were doing exactly what you said, right? They were coming to us and then they were asking the same question. Is there particular areas where other investors are investing in? Can you recommend us an area to invest in? I love the concept about investing in US real estate, but tell me where to buy because I don't know where to buy. I don't know anything about the US, right? I know New York, I know California, and most people were coming in submitting a lead. I want to buy investment property in Los Angeles, California. Well, that's a terrible idea to buy investment property in LA, California, right? So, like most people want to do this once we educate them, but they have no idea where to buy, right? And what we ended up doing is we ended up building this technology platform where you can come in, you can punch in attributes from an investment standpoint that is most important to you. For example, I want to generate cash flow month over month. I want to generate, say, $500 in monthly cash flow. Here's my budget. Or, I need to get a certain return on my cash invested, right? Or I need to have certain rental yield or a cap rate, whatever is the investment metric that matters most to you, or whatever is your investment objective, right? So you punch in that investment objective into a platform, select other attributes such as, okay, I want to buy a property in entire US, Midwest US, Southern US, whatever the regions are, right? And want a property which stays with, landlord friendly laws, low state income tax, population growth, job growth, right? So you kind of check in those attributes, and then our algorithm will actually, mine everything that is listed on the MLS right now, right? And do an investment analysis based on both on the attributes and give you curated list of listings that meets your investment objective. So really, we're building Zillow for investment properties, right? That can really, like save your hours of research into few clicks to show you exactly the properties where you need to buy, right? So, that's a huge help for our foreign national clients. In general, to answer your question, Texas and Florida are one of the two most popular states that investors are looking in, but also in Midwest US. The prices are low, taxes are low, and the rental yield is much high. So a lot of interest in Midwest US as well from my existing clients. Uh,
Oh. Yeah, no, that's fascinating because I assume, your point about everybody wants to invest in LA or New York, because I think that's what a lot of people know, right? Like the big
yeah,
states that represent the US. But I agree with you that I feel like the investment opportunities are really outside of these states. Really.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'll give you some markets like Cleveland, great market. Like one of our clients did a Section 8 housing in Ohio market, right? And she kind of, acquired the property for around $280,000, right? We financed 75% of that without needing a US credit history. The client was from South Africa. It happened to be a Section 8 housing, right? Where, the rent is guaranteed by the government. She generated, $1,700 cash flow, on that property per month, which was, almost I would say two after paying for her mortgage, she generated double the cash flow, from the just the cash flow itself. So the money that she was generating from the rental income not only paid for her mortgage, but in addition to that, she generated 100% additional cash flow on that property, right? So property is paying for itself plus giving you that much cash flow, right? And that's what makes the US real estate market so unique. Most real estate markets around the world, you are putting money in real estate investment to get capital appreciation, as the property gains in value, right? So your equity is where is your motivation. Whereas in US real estate market, you generate passive income. It's an income generating asset. You are generating passive income on that investment right from day one because property pays for itself. The mortgage payment, and that's how we qualify you for the loan in the first place. We are qualifying you based on the rental income of the property versus your personal income or assets, right? So the fact that we are financing 75% or 80%, depending upon whether you're a foreign national or a US citizen, guarantees that, you're going to be cash flow positive from day one. And that is what makes it so unique. And why, there's so many foreign nationals and international customers interested in investing in the first place.
Oh, so there's a lot of factors that make investing in US real estate a win-win. So you mentioned like the 30-year fixed mortgage, which
Mhm.
means that they don't have to worry about their payment going up. So
Yep.
they know what to expect. And then, to some of the lower taxes in some of the major, cities and the Midwest cities as well. And then as you talked about the cash flow, generating income, are there certain things that surprise some of these international investors when they learn more about investing in real estate? Are there certain like, oh wow, we did not realize that was the case?
Yeah, absolutely, right. The biggest thing is 30-year fixed rate mortgage, right? When they hear about that, they're like, oh, wow, really? Is that possible? Right. And the other thing is, of course, the rental yields, like the fact that the rental yields are so high, it's again, a surprising factor, because if you combine, again, as I mentioned, rental yield and 30-year fixed mortgages, the fact that you're generating cash flow on that property, and the property itself is paying for the mortgage, that is a wow factor, for them, right? Something that is not available in the local market, right? Talk about Canada, talk about UK, talk about India. Like a lot of these markets, the idea of taking a mortgage loan to buy an investment property is just not there. Most people buy investment property in cash for an appreciating asset in these countries, right? It's not a wealth building tool like it's in the US. The fact that you can use leverage to buy these cash flow positive investments, right? Generating passive income and appreciation is a wow factor to begin with, right? But in addition, like you're parking your money in the largest economy in the world, right? Shielding yourself from currency risk. USD is the reserve currency, right? So you shield yourself from currency risk that might be in their home country, right? So you're parking your money in a stable and secure investment that's appreciating in US dollars as well, which kind of gives them the sense of security, right? Which is again a huge thing. And the biggest wow factor is the fact as a foreign national with no affiliation with the US financial system, I can get financing with 75% leverage. I just need to bring 25% down, right? Is huge, right? I have no US credit history. I've never had a, US credit score, and still someone is looking to is giving me financing is a huge surprise factor. And when we tell them the reason we are giving you financing is because we are using common sense underwriting. We are underwriting based on the property's income or the rental income from the property versus your personal income or asset in your home country. That's again a big wow factor. That, okay, you can call it because that loan product does not exist anywhere else. That you can underwrite me based on my property's income versus the personal income. Now, what that does, Angela, right, is I can actually build 100 investment properties through that approach, right? And what we generally tell our clients is, say you buy one investment property, right? I buy one investment property, I bring my 25% down. That's the cash commitment from me, right? So if I'm buying, say, $400,000 property, right? Say 3 unit or 4 unit, in Midwest US, right? Uh, I need to bring 25% down, which is $100,000, right? $300,000 going to be financed by us, right? Now that property is going to be cash flow positive from day one. So whatever is the mortgage payment on that property, it's the property is paying for itself, plus it's giving you cash flow, right? Now, wait for 2 years, 3 years, right? And once you have enough appreciation and equity of the property, you can do a cash out refinance, use that cash out to put down payment on another property, right? And now you have another investment property because again, I'm qualifying based on the income of that property and on its own merit, not looking at your personal income, right? And now you have another cash flow positive property that is paying for itself, right? And it appreciates, right? So the first property you bought with 25% down enabled you to buy another property without any money coming from your end. And that cycle repeats, right? So, because we are evaluating each property on their own merit on cash flow, you can practically build 100 doors or 100 investment properties, without we looking into your income, because we are not qualifying based on debt to income ratio. We're qualifying based on properties income versus your income. So it's a huge wealth generating tool that people just don't know about. And it's a big wow factor as well.
That's truly a unique differentiator. That's
Yep.
something that I don't think people are really aware of, and they don't realize that, this service and product exists. And, I was actually really curious to hear more about, I know you have this amazing tool that can analyze, the investment value and the potential rental income. Like, so if there are property owners, let's say in some of these cities that investors may be looking into, how would they work with you to like, list their properties and so forth? Like I know you had mentioned before that you're developing that product. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely, Angela. So as I mentioned, we launched this Zillow for investment properties, which is not customer facing yet. It's going to be launched by end of this month, right? But what we are doing today, is we are taking everything that is on live on MLS now, and we are doing investment analysis on that, right? But that's step one for us. That's the, just kind of getting into the door. Our bigger aim is to then open it for current property owners, where if you own an investment property that you want to sell, right, or you own a short-term rental Airbnb slash VRBO that you want to sell, right, we have all these real estate investors on our platform who are coming in looking to buy investment properties, right, and you could market your properties, which are investment ready, may or may not have already rental lease signed, or you already might have the property rented, or it's already generating a good like short-term rental income, and for whatever reasons you want to sell the property, and do whatever next in your life, you can find investors who are looking for those turnkey properties, right, onto our platform and sell it off really quickly through us, right? So we're going to offer that feature on our platform soon, where real estate investors can come list their property on our platform, and we will make sure that there are real estate investors, buyers who will get that property off your plate in days,
That's
if not hours.
amazing. And are you looking to expand maybe into like commercial real estate in the future as well? Or are you guys looking at more just single family and apartments?
We do commercial real estate today, so
That's great.
we have entire gambit, right? So we do single family residence, we do 2 to 4 units, we do 5+ units till like 50, 100 unit. Like, so we have product for everything. Depends upon the appetite of the investor. Our most popular, is still, like, most people, believe it or not, are still investing in single family rentals, right?
Mm-hmm.
But multifamily is a big thing. I believe multifamily is a really great investment if you're buying in the right area, generates much higher cash flow, right? But we offer products across the spectrum.
That's great to know. And that's a really good point about multifamily because I do agree that when people think about real estate, people
Mhm.
only think about single family homes. But
Exactly.
I think in the future, more multifamily investment opportunities will be a viable option. And speaking of the future and so forth, like, what do you think is sort of like the future of, US real estate investing for international buyers? Do you see more from around the globe investing? Like, what do you think would happen in the next like 3 to 5 years?
Absolutely. I think this market is going to grow, and as a company, HomeAbroad, I believe we can kind of lead the increase in market size from this segment, because today, like, clients who come to us already know about investing in US real estate is a good thing. They're already kind of above the knowledge curve. They know someone who did investing in US real estate. They had a friend who did this. They have a family over here that mentioned that to them, right? So they're already one step ahead, and they already know. And we still generate, thousands of inquiry every month, based on people who already know, right? I believe we can actually create a much bigger market by just education and awareness. People who don't know outside of the US that US real estate as an investment asset is available to them, right? And that's where I believe, we can really, really, through offline marketing, through kind of education and awareness, we can actually increase this market to a much higher level, right? Even people in the US, people, real estate investors in the US don't know that they have products, loan products available to them that can help them get a loan based on the cash flow of the property versus looking at their personal income or assets, right? And it's a huge gap. I'm talking to like seasoned real estate investors in the US who don't know. And that's where what we're also doing, Angela, of course, we have the HomeAbroad brand that's going to continue to cater to international, right? But we're also launching a brand, Ziffy, that's catered to US-based real estate investors, right? And pretty much they can use the same properties, our property platform for investment properties to find the right investment property. Will help you connect with the agent that is local to the area. So to help you put an offer on the property if you need one. Once you have a purchase contract, we'll help you with the loan. without needing your personal income or assets, qualified based on the rental income of the property versus your income, right? So we are launching the same similar product for US based real estate investors as well, because I feel like there's a big gap even in the US, to kind of cater to some of those things.
You're absolutely right. I think that even among like my friends and, like family, I think that the idea of owning a home is just like it's just daunting. Like it's just they get very scared and they don't know where to begin and they only think about conventional mortgages.
Exactly.
They think, oh, it's XYZ. And I always try to tell them, there are other options, but they just don't know and they don't know where to begin. So that's really fantastic that, you're exploring that. And one other thing that I was going to ask you about is the rental market. Like the rental market is only growing. So it
Yep.
seems like, that also positions, these like properties as fantastic investment properties because, as you said, the owners of the property benefit from having like a fixed, mortgage going out, whereas the rental the rents will only go up, even in like the Midwestern cities and others, right? Like I feel like the rents are rising not only in big cities but everywhere, really.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's all to do with the capital market in the US is, right? Doesn't matter, call it a mentality thing or social behavior thing, but like most people have a similar quality of life irrespective of your income, right? Even if don't have the money to put for a 20% down payment, right, and own that house, right? Or I just don't want home ownership for whatever reason, right? I want a similar quality of life, right? And that kind of, makes sure that the rental market in the US is always going to be, good and booming, right? So 100% agree. I think the rental industry market in the US is going to keep growing. The rents are going to keep growing. And that's what makes it such a fantastic investment.
That's wonderful. And I do want to also ask about like the property owners, the people that may currently own these properties that may be looking to sell to, international buyers and so forth. How can they better position themselves, owning some of these assets, to attract such investors from around the world? Like what can they do?
Yeah. So, most investors, are looking to, at the end of the day, the objective is pretty simple. Either they're looking to generate a cash flow or they're looking to, like get a return on their cash invested, right? So, if you have an investment property that's already leased, rented, if you have, renters in the property already, it just increases the marketability of that property, versus if it is, unleashed at the moment or the property is vacant at the moment, right? So if you have properties that is already generating you income, that is already rented, short-term rental or long-term rental, it just helps you increase the marketability of that property, right? But having said that, if it is not, that's not a problem, right? The appetite and demand is high, for the US real estate market, and once we kind of evaluate the property, we'll let the customer know, what is the cash flow, expected cash flow, of the property as part of the loan qualification, right? So we will not give you a loan if you're not breaking even on your mortgage payment, right? Or if we give you the loan, it's going to be on a little bit higher terms, and you will know upfront about it, that my property's mortgage payment, on a conservative estimate, because what we do is, we have the local appraiser appraise the rent for the property, right? From a qualification standpoint, if we don't already have a existing lease or Airbnb rental record on that property, right? So the borrower or the buyer already knows, if the property is going to be cash flow positive or not, right? So the point I'm trying to make, is, yes, if the property is already generating income, it just increases the marketability. But even if it's not, till we have the right, market conditions to support it, it's still a great thing to, advertise to foreign buyers, right? And there's a lot of interest. So I don't see any reason why, given right opportunity and right conditions, that property will stay in the market. If it's in a good area, and has that investment aspect to it.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's really great to know. And how can they reach you? And if they are interested, if they have may have some properties, or if they have some specific investment opportunities, like what's the best way for them to get in touch with you and Home Abroad?
So that two-step process, one is once we are ready to list the properties on our platform right away, they can, directly go to the platform, click on list my property and start doing that right away. But since we are in the building phase right now, they can reach out to contact@homeabroadinc.com, right? Let us know about their property. Right now, it's a manual process on our end to add those properties because we have not fully launched that feature, right? So step one, manual process. You reach out to us on contact@homeabroading.com. We advertise your property to our foreign national bar investors, who are looking to buy investment properties. Step two, we're gonna make this a fully automated process where you can go to our listing platform and you can just upload your property, just like as you do in Zillow, right? Or you list in MLS. The only thing is, it's going to be much more seamless on our end, and you are advertising your property directly to real estate investors, not only foreign investors, but also US-based investors, because we're going to be launching the domestic brand for this property platform as well.
Right. I'm very excited to see that. And I really encourage everyone watching this to check out Home Abroad and, be on the lookout for these exciting product launches. Anything else that you would like to add or anything else that you would like to talk about?
Now, I think you covered most of the things, Angela, but I think there's one more interesting aspect that I just want to highlight and mention, right? Uh, Something that a new product that we are working on, right? So what we notice, a lot of, international people who want a green card in the US, through investment, which is commonly known as EB-5 investment program, right? So they're putting like $1 million in the US in what we call regional centers, and certain qualifications for them to generate or to get a green card, right? They need to, bring that money in the US, but that investment should generate 10 jobs, et cetera, to get them a green card in the US, right? And today, I was speaking to a lot of, people who have done that, it's kind of a sunk cost for them. They bring that $1 million, they send it to the RAC. There's no returns that are, like guaranteed or expected. In most scenarios, you don't even get a return. And return is a big thing. If you could get your principal amount back, that itself is huge, right? So it's a sunk cost for most people, right? So we're launching a product where kind of tying the ability to bring $1 million as a foreign national into the country and get a green card or a permanent residency based on that investment, right? So that product, what we're doing, since we can give you leverage, that $1 million that you need to bring can help you bind $4 million worth of properties, right? So imagine buying 10 multifamily in Midwest, 400K each for $4 million. Now suddenly that 1 million gave you leverage for 4 million. Now you can have a property management company that manages those 40 doors. The cash flow is enough for you to employ 10 people, right? So you're not paying anything from your pocket. The cash flow is paying for the employment, generating employment for 10 people. And now it gives you a green card, because you met all the objective by owning and appreciating asset in the US that's going to appreciate in US dollars and can even give you return on your investment versus the sunk cost today. So we believe it's going to be a huge, huge opportunity, not only for, people, foreign nationals who are not living in the US right now, they just want to get green card through investment, but also there are a lot of folks from India and China in the US who are severely backlogged for green card, right? Because what happens is, no matter where you're from, whether you're from Luxembourg with population in thousands, or India where you have billion people in there, right? Your green card quota remains the same, right? And there's a lot of Indians and people from China now who are in tech industry who are severely backlogged. And I know a lot of people are actually buying their green card. Like I have the money, I'm buying my green card in the US through our EC Center, right? Now, if we launch this product, it not only helps international customers who are looking to get green card through investment, but all these people who are in the US, working in the tech industry, now they can use an investment asset. They're not losing that money, but then also, getting a green card, based on that investment because it's meeting all the requirements by USCIS. So that's something that we are working on that we will be launching soon, which is again going to be a huge something that is not in the market right now.
That's massive. We're gonna have to have you back to talk about that. Once you launch the product, you've got to let me know because I would love to dedicate
Absolutely.
a segment to that because I think that's a huge opportunity. We
That's
would
a
love.
huge opportunity. And like we were just talking about, they're just kind of, finalizing the final things on how that product is going to work.
Wow.
But I totally agree with you. It's a huge, huge opportunity for us.
I can't wait. I'm already committing to that with you.
I,
That's
I can
wonderful.
relate to the problem because from being from India, right? I got my green card, I would say the easy way because, I was able to prove through that my employment in the international bank that I'm a international manager. I kind of skipped the line, to keep long things short, right? But I have a lot of friends, family, who are on H-1B visa, who are waiting for their green card for 20 years, 25, like 10 plus years for sure, right? And the green card rate shows like 25 years, 30 years, and they have been like paying their taxes, they're earning high income earners, like executives in Amazon's, Facebooks of the world, right? And there's just so much uncertainty in their life. I know so many people who have gone back to their home country because of that uncertainty, right? And if only there was a better way, and not many people want to just give $1 million and say, okay, this is sunk cost, I'm okay, right? But with this product, it's not going to be a sunk cost anymore. It's going to be a revenue generating asset. Your property is there. You're going to actually sell it later for profit and whatnot, right? And get what you need. So it's going to be something that's going to really change lives, we hope. And it's very close to my heart because I know that persona, right? So something that I wanted to work on personally as well. But I believe it's a huge market for it in the US and a huge market for it outside of the US.
I love it. I really love that. And I can't wait to talk more about that and can't wait for it to launch. Really appreciate your time today. And as Amresh mentioned, homeabroadinc.com for more information. And we would love to have you back. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And if anyone, if your listeners want to get in touch with me, my email is Amresh, AMRESH .Singh, SINGH at homeabroadinc.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the time.